What's going on, guys? Thank you for clicking on the video and checking this out. Today, as you know by the title, we have some leaky fuel lines on the Subi. Have you guys ever had any problems with leaky fuel lines on your Subaru? I'm curious to see if this is a common thing or not, but it did happen to me and this is how I fixed it. So hope you guys enjoy the video. We'll catch you later. Just going to leave for work. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Start my car up. Decided to pop the hood. I was gonna unplug my little air pump thing, just because it's annoying and it doesn't work. It just blows the air right back into the engine bay. And I noticed some stuff over here. I smelled the strong fume of gas, and I thought it was power steering fluid in the area of the power steering pump, but now I'm thinking it's actually gas and something's leaking. I know my fuel lines are here. This is a new thing happening for me. This is a new symptom for the Subi. Kind of sketched out about driving it right now. I want to pull the car out of the driveway, go park it on the side, because I still got to get to work. So I'm gonna quickly transfer it over to the spot, and I'm gonna have to deal with this a little later after work. Hopefully I could find an answer to what the hell's going on, why it's leaking so much damn gas. Man, this really sucks. I hope I can figure this out. Alright, well, we're gonna try this start again and see if we can get any fuel to squirt out. These were the conditions the last time I started the car, where I did see the fuel squirting out. So let's see how cold it is this morning. It's 36 degrees, so it's 1 degree warmer than the other morning. So I'm gonna pop the hood and take a look. Another cool reason why I did that clutch mod, where you don't have to put the clutch in. You can just start it by standing next to the car. So here we go. Rough start. There's a leak. Well, I think I'm gonna have to break down and bring her in the garage, do some further diagnosing. I know where the leak's coming from, but there's no way that I can access it. So I may have to remove my intake manifold, which is, I hear, a pretty big job. I've never done it before, but I'm kind of interested and curious on how the process works. And I might just remove it and try it out for myself. I'm hoping I can get around not removing it and still have access to the line that I need to replace. But I just can't really see in there, so I'm gonna start taking off the intake and other stuff besides the intake manifold and see if there's any possible way I can get in there. But if not, you guys are gonna see me remove the intake manifold, hopefully step by step, and everything's gonna go a-okay. Well, stay tuned to find out. I'm gonna pull her in the garage now. Rip to my garage, it's gonna smell like gas for a couple months, so I apologize. Home sweet home. Here we go. Gas is a-flowing. I smell it a-going. Say goodbye. Bye-bye. Rest in peace. All right, bye. I'm hoping I can possibly get in there if I remove my my turbo inlet. So we'll see what kind of access I have. But even that's kind of a pain in the ass, as you guys know from my other video. We're going to give it a shot and see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to strongly encourage that you disconnect your negative battery lead here, just because we're working with gasoline, and that's nothing to mess with, nothing to kid around about. Gotta take it seriously this time. But any other time, I wouldn't really worry about it, but I'm setting a good example today. We're working with fuel, and battery current and sparks and arcing don't go very well, so actually they do go great together, but we just want to keep them separate at this point. No sparks or arcing allowed here, so I'm gonna get that off and be safe. I'm just gonna get this intake out of the way along with the air box. Trying to get a little bit more visual here. It may or may not help me, but I'm just gonna get it out of the way and move on. So to get the air box out, you got a 10mm bolt here, and you got a 12mm bolt down there. Loosen up all your hose clamps here. Got this cool little tool here. It's like a 5-in-1, 6-in-1, something or other. 11-in-1, sorry, it's 11-in-1. This thing's awesome, I use it all the time. It's by Klein tools. It's definitely worth the money. Hey, maybe I'll even link it down below in the description. Check it out on Amazon. There's my beat up old freaking Cobb SF intake and airbox. Makes good turbo noises, I give you that. Slide that baby out. Got everything organized so far. Organization is your best friend when it comes to taking apart stuff on your car, or anything really. Now we can't see absolutely anything, which I kind of already assumed, but I just wanted to get that stuff out of the way. Well, sadly, I think I'm gonna actually remove my intercooler as well. Got two 12mm bolts holding on your bypass valve here, another one there, and another one should be right there, but mine's missing. And a couple hose clamps you gotta loosen up. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna get this thing popped off and do some more investigating. Okay, just got the intercooler off. We are looking better over here as far as more room to work, more room to diagnose. But I did notice there was quite a bit of oil on the intake here and on the outlet of the turbo. So there is quite a bit of there's quite a bit of blow by happening on this car. That's again why people get air oil separators for these cars. But on to further more important issues, and that's the fuel leak going on. So we got to get back on schedule here. I think I'm gonna have to take out the turbo inlet, sadly, and if that doesn't work, we're taking off this intake manifold. So we'll see what it comes down to. I'm just continuing to pull off some hoses. Just got this other part of the bypass valve off of the turbo inlet down there. Yeah, I'm gonna get this hose off of this metal line as well down there. Just trying to free up space in here and slowly start to unhook everything for the turbo inlet. And sadly, we gotta go through that hell again and get it out. And even worse is putting it back in. But we can do this. We got the skills. We got the will. All right, well, the battle's over. It didn't take too long. I was very, very surprised at how quickly I got this inlet out. WD-40 was my best friend. I just lubed up everything, just sprayed every little area where this thing's rubbing up against, and it helped it slide right out. I even was able to leave some of these little elbows on. Somehow, some way, I got it out in like maybe 20 minutes, no joke. And now I can finally see the fuel lines that I'm gonna need to replace. There's a closer look at the fuel lines we're gonna need to replace here. Got two rubber sections, breaks off from the hard line, and then goes to a rubber section and then back to a hard line. I don't know why they used it just for this little area, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. Now I'm trying to determine if this thing is just gonna squirt fuel everywhere when I remove the line from the hard line here. I just wanna make sure I don't spill gas everywhere and shoot it in my eye or something. So we're just trying to avoid any injuries. So I was able to actually rotate some of these clamps right here. I rotated that one a little bit. This one was actually pointing down. I would have to use a screwdriver coming from the underside, so I was like, wait, there's gotta be a way to rotate it. And these actually, the clamps actually rotate on the hose already, so that goes to show you that those things aren't even that tight, and it may just be leaking from the clamp and not really the hose. I don't think there's much pressure behind this, so I think we will be safe. Both of these hose clamps are loose, and I'm just gonna try to start walking it off this nipple here. I'm gonna use my 90-degree needle nose here. I mean, I could just cut it and be done with it, but I'm gonna try it this way first. All right, so this first fuel line is giving me some issues, so I did go on ahead and I gave it a little slice. Give it a slice right on top. I was trying to pry it, grab it with my needle nose pliers, and have this on the other side, just trying to work it off, and it just wasn't working for me. So I just slid it right here, just on the top, helped me, you know, loosen it up a little bit, and yeah, it should pull off now. Okay, so here's a better look at how far in this fuel line actually goes. I thought it was just like a little small nipple or something, but it's like half the distance of the whole rubber fuel line. See, it's quite a big little barb there. So we're gonna work off the other side and then move on to the left side here, and yeah, figure out what kind of hose we're gonna need to replace this. Okay, latest update. We got the first little hose off, hose clamps off. Had to do what I had to do. A little bit of destruction on the hose, but I can still get the length and diameter that I need. I believe it's 5/16. So just that little portion just had to be a rubber hose, huh, Subaru? I wonder why. Time to tackle that next one, and might be off to AutoZone. Alrighty then, well, latest update. Where's my hoses? Here they are, here they are. Just got back from AutoZone. I took both the hoses with me to make sure I got the right ones, the right lengths, whatever else. I got a foot of hose here cut to, I just got a foot just to be safe. And I got it from AutoZone, part number 50087. That's just your, I guess, standard 5/16 fuel injection hose. And this should be more than enough for what I need to do. So, there we go. Okay, so we got the old hoses here. Just gonna basically just match them to length, cut them off. We'll have some new fresh hoses ready for install. And there's 1, 2. Just like that, we got new hoses. Sweet. So out with the old and in with the new. I'm gonna start with the left side here. Just try and slip this one in. I already have my hose clamps on there. Snug, but loose enough where I can still rotate them to adjust them just right. Alright, well I'm attempting to get on the smaller hose here. Just down there, and I'm actually sliding on the hose quite a bit onto the hard line towards me. That way I can get it past where I need to, and then I'll just back it onto the other side of the hard line. So that's really the only way that I can think of without kinking the hose real bad. So I slid this hose all the way towards me till it pretty much dead ends up here, and then that'll give you enough clearance to back it off and onto that part of the hard line there. And yeah, we're moving right along. Keep on trucking. Alright, just like that, we got one of the replacement soft rubber hoses on there. See the line right there in position. I used a little bit of WD-40 just to help me slip over those little nipple ends, and it's been working pretty good here. So we got one more hose to go, and I'll update you guys after I get this one on. So these 90-degree pliers have really been coming in handy here. So you can see I have the other hose on the hardline nipple there, and I need to pull it towards me a bit. So I use these 90-degree angles here. Just easily grab a hold of it and wiggle and pull towards you until you get it into position, and then yeah, tighten down your hose clamps and you're one step closer to being done. Okay, well, got the lines on. Everything's looking pretty good. I do know now why they actually had the hose clamps in a different orientation. See on the left side, it's rubbing the right side hose. I tried to match the new hoses to the old hoses the best I could as far as the placement on the hard line, so everything should be okay. I also wanted to put the hose clamps in this little orientation here, just so it makes it easier for the turbo inlet to get installed. I don't want to be snagging on any of the screws or anything like that. So that's another reason why I tried to put them all nice and flat and hopefully out of the way. And that's the reason why I did that today. Woo! Well, I'm not gonna lie, that was less than 10 minutes. I got this turbo inlet installed. Well, at least through the hardest part, and that's mounting it up to the turbo inlet over here. But yeah, WD-40 is your best friend. I just kind of sprayed it in here, a little here, a little there, and then definitely on the intake of the turbo. And I just keep wiggling it. I even kept a couple of these elbows on, which was pretty surprising. So I'm very proud of myself. Just had to stop and brag for a second. Okay, back to work. Alright, so a couple hours has passed, and my fatherhood duties are over with. So now time to get back to the car and finish up this job. Cross your fingers, everything goes smoothly, 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 smoothly. Well, 3 days later, we're still working on this job. I unfortunately ended up snapping off one of the nipples to my PCV valve here. Come on, focus, focus, focus. We have a broken nipple on this one. It's like a PCV solenoid type valve thing. It's like a purge valve maybe. I don't know what it is, but it's old and brittle and it ended up breaking on me. So this is the brand new one that I had to break down and buy. Got this from Rock Auto. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to get one. It wasn't cheap. It was close to like 80 bucks. So kind of sucks that I broke it off. But anyways, we got a new one tonight and we're going to finish up this job. I had to kind of Frankenstein some hoses here and there. I didn't quite have the right diameter that was used from Subaru. All my hoses were old and brittle and actually ended up cracking. Snapped this little elbow here. One thing leading to another, and we got to fix this part now. I'll show you how it all hooks up once I get it figured out here. Okay, so we're going to start with this blue T here, and the bigger side's going to go into this vent line here. That's connected to the fuel rails as well. Just keep in mind this is going to be like a Frankenstein version. This is going to be a Frankenstein version here until I get the right PCV hoses from Subaru. They're just taking forever to send it to me. So we got the T into the vent line down there. You can see it, the blue little T. And what gets plugged into that T, the smaller end there, it's going to be the port with the arrow. So that elbow is going to go into that blue smaller T down there. I just have this long vacuum hose. That's all I really have, but I'm going to cut it to length once I figure out the exact length that I need. So this is just kind of like a mock-up here, making sure I got the plumbing right. So that's gonna go into there, and then this This bigger one on the other port coming out of this little solenoid is going to go to your little vent nipple up here on the intake manifold. Obviously going to trim everything and make it look a little better, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Just a rough little diagram, little layout for you. Alright, so this may be a little hard to see what's going on, but I do have the elbow coming off of the top port with the arrow on this little solenoid valve here. So it's elbowing down and around under this port on the intake and connecting to the smaller blue T pointing up. So I tucked it under. It's really the only way for this thing to fit, unless I had the proper elbows from factory. I'm just trying to get this little bracket mounted to the hole on the intake right there on the manifold. So it's always a pain in the butt to line it up, even when I do have the proper hoses. So I'm gonna try to wiggle it in place here, see if I can't break anything off. Hopefully I don't. Okay, I finally got the screw started on this little solenoid. Little pivot end kind of made it a little easier for me. Alright, well, it's never fun getting this little bracket and solenoid back on, but eventually got it. I tucked the connector behind the alternator just so it was out of my way. Poor connector's so old school, I don't think it has a click. Not really, no click. Okay, well, that's not the best, but maybe a zip tie would be better. We're gonna connect this hose now, the only hose that's left. It's gonna be the top port looking down on it. I'm gonna feed this hose to this little nipple here. I did notice that my little nipple here, there's some movement happening. Pretty sure that's not very good, so hopefully it doesn't affect anything. We'll see how the car runs. Maybe we'll address this at a later date. Okay, so we're getting our hoses to their ports now, and we got a couple more to hook up. I know it's not pretty, but it's what I'm gonna be doing. This is what I'm working with here. It'll be alright, it'll get me by. Like I said, I'm waiting for the proper hoses to be delivered, but look how clusterfucky this is. Maybe under, maybe that can go under. Everything's all intertwined and just a mess, but it'll have to do for now. Got a little hose clamp on that. It's as tight as it'll go, so wish me luck on that. So that's connected, that T's down there, that's over there. This is gonna go on this port right here on the turbo inlet. I'm just gotta put the intake back on, and I think we might be ready for a test. Well, of course the intercooler as well. Alright, everything's put back, I think. I'm gonna double check everything, make sure hose clamps are tight, all hoses are back where they belong. It looks like spaghetti over here. I'm missing a couple things, but I'm just gonna, it's enough for me to give it a start up and test it out. Yeah, you'll need your battery connected before you do any starting. Alright, gonna crack the garage and give her a start up, and hopefully we did everything correctly. Well, I don't see or smell any gas, so I think we're on the right track. And most importantly, no check engine lights. Alright, much success. It was a long journey, but I think we finally got it. Everything is fixed and ready to go. Finally got our parts swapped out. We started with 2 leaky fuel lines, and we ended with an extra bonus part that we had to replace just because of my carelessness, and also because of the old brittle plastic. You can see that I busted off the nipple on my solenoid valve here. As you guys already saw, I replaced that along the way, and yeah, it was just a little bit of a delay, but I also, you know, got to learn something about my car that I did not know, and it was kind of fun learning. Just gotta get that thumbnail right there. It looks pretty delicious to me. So that's gonna do it for the video, guys. I hope you find this video helpful. I'm always learning something new about the Subaru, it seems. And I guess I can kind of show you guys and teach you along the way. As I learn, you guys can learn too. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, peace.